spraying this out body. Doobie doobie doo. Doobie doobie doo. Doobie doobie doo. Doobie doobie doo. I'm your host, spraying this out body. Doobie doobie doo.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy Friday. Welcome. I just came over from the FHL stream. Definitely check that out later if you didn't get a chance to do so. Give me just a second. Okay, cool. I was making sure that I tweeted it out. All right. What is up, guys? Welcome. Happy Friday. We made it to the weekend. I want to say shout out to everyone watching on Rockfin, Twitter, and YouTube as well. Want to give some shout outs to people in the chat. What's going on, Tonya? Who would win between Jink and Joe? I think Joe Rogan would win. I mean, like, he was a professional fighter. I don't know what Jink is talking about. This is just getting out of hand. It's getting to be a bit much. What's going on, Blue Moon Red Wine? Always great to see you. Yay, finally have time to plug in. Awesome. Greetings, see the change. Hello, all. Hi, Sabby. Hi, how are you? What's going on, Eric Thomas, who's a Sabby member? Happy Friday, lefty friends. Greetings, Gamer for Life. Always great to see you. Gamer for Life. I have a game to tell you about. Final Fantasy the 14th. Wait, Final Fantasy 14. Anyway, my husband knows, he plays the game. I don't know if you're into Final Fantasy games, but I like to watch him play them since I don't think I could do it well. It's all over the place. It's too much movement for me, too many numbers popping up when you're fighting like the boss and you can't really see the boss. But that's another topic. What's going on? Yep, X. Not really a happy Friday since Kyle apparently got away with murder. That's a good point. But I knew that was gonna happen. I knew he was going to get off. It just is what it is. It sucks, but I don't know. I mean, I told you guys this before. I feel like he shouldn't have been there with the gun in the first place. But what's going on? Kim says, hello, everyone. Doobie Sabby. All right. What's going on? Ashira. Apparently, shitlibs want FHL to be like them and sheep herd to Democrats. Yes, apparently they do. And we are just not that way. I mean, I can't fathom how you would still expect people to vote for Democrats after everything that has happened over the past, let's say, 10 years. I mean, I just don't understand why you would still push people in that direction. What's going on, Lawrence? Doobie doo. Always great to see you. Greetings, Christian. Fuck any leftist that defends Kyle Rittenhouse, garbage ass people. Wow, Christian. Came in with the fire. Hey, Miguel, peace to you too. What's going on, Chuck? Chuck says, yo. What's going on, Troy C? Doobie doo. Greetings. Hello, Oz. Always a pleasure to see you. Guys, Oz is the one that made my intro video. Everybody give Oz a big whoop whoop. All right. What's going on, Shayar? Good evening to all Sabby misfits. Greetings, Myrna, Jordan. I think it's going to have to stay FHL network. We'll figure it out. What is going on, Roger Meadows? Thanks so much for the super chat. Hey, you were supposed to use your new theme song. Which new theme song? Oh, you're talking about the jazz thing? Maybe you're talking about one of the jazz videos you sent me. I'd be careful what kind of music I play on here. Just saying. I don't want to get, the strike. Hey, Bobby, what's going on? He says, hi, Sabby. Oh, wow. So many comments already. And I just started. What's going on, Aya, my Sabster? Greetings, Notorious. Always great to see you. You're my Storm buddy. You know that, right? We right here. I was Storm for Halloween, you guys. For those of you who are new. Chuck said, what's going on with the FHL name? I will talk about that right before we get into the news. But thanks so much. So many comments. Oh boy. Ashura, didn't you see Hinkle's video on Joe Kick videos? I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to check it out. There's so many people that I like man, throughout the week, if I didn't have a full-time job, I would watch more like content, you know? Cam says, yes, we love Final Fantasy 14. All right, somebody knows what I'm talking about. Greetings. My husband will really appreciate that because he loves these Final Fantasy games. What's going on, Leroy? Always a pleasure to see you. He's a Sabby member. Had to slide over from the artist the artist formerly known as FHL. Keep up the great work. I know we're gonna be like Prince, huh? You guys remember when Prince became the artist formerly known as? Always great to see you. Shout out to Stephen Roth. Wow, thanks so much for the super chat. That's really generous of you. He said Jink has lost his mind. We're going to get into that, Stephen. Thanks so much for the super chat. I don't know what I'll tell you what I have to say about that. Ashura said, do you think RPGs are hard? Oh, come on. Yes. RPGs are incredibly hard for me. And I think it's because I'm not used to playing those kind of games. I am used to playing like Mario, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, like those kinds of games, you know? So, and Tetris is still my favorite game of all time till this day. That has not changed. I don't think that will ever change. I could literally play it for hours. I played it on game systems. I've also played it on my phone. So I don't think I could ever get tired of that. Eric Thomas says, finish him. There you go. Mortal Kombat. That was my game, man. Whatever man says Pac-Man. I like Pac-Man too. Yeah. So I think that's the thing. Like when I tried to play like an RPG for the first time, I was like, okay, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? And how do I get to the boss? And my husband was explaining to me that, well, this is kind of more like an open world kind of format. So you can roam around, you can do missions. And I was like, what? He's like, you have a little bit more choice. And I was like, but I don't want a choice. I just want to start the game and have like a straightforward path, like on Mario, where it just goes do 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 do, and I go hit start, and I know to jump over things and to jump on things, and I know like I become a fireball, stuff like that. So when it comes to games, yeah, I'd like a little bit more direction because I can't. It's weird. My husband's like, you get to pick what your character is going to be. You can like decorate your character. You get to pick your hair and everything. And I was like, but I don't feel like doing all that. I just want to start the game and make my way to the boss. So I think I need a little bit more patience to play those kind of games. I think that's what the problem is with me. But I grew up during the time of like Mario and Double Dragon, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, like, so I am used to that kind of style. Even played Sonic the Hedgehog for a little bit. Sega. Anyway, we need to get into tonight's news, but really quick, if you did not see FHL stream just a minute ago, we were talking about that we will be changing the name. They went into, more specifics about it. And to make a long story short, we really don't want to continue to use the name if the family doesn't want us to use it. And even if the family does want us to use it, because of the fact that we have a lot of shit libs constantly contacting him, telling him about us. And it's just annoying because we don't have a boss. And so we want that to stop. And it's unfortunate, but the name doesn't make us who we are. Like our ideology is still the same. We're still the same people, but you guys don't understand. We get attacked a lot, like a lot. That's why I told you a lot of times I don't even go through my message requests in Twitter for my DMs. So I just don't have time to deal with things like that. I really don't. I have a full-time job. I told you. So people will still attack us because a lot of people don't like us because we grew pretty quickly. And honestly, we're all Black group. And there's not that many Black people doing commentary on the left. There just isn't. And before we joined, there was what? 2 people. So, or 2 men, 1 woman. So it just, I expected that to happen. But we will decide what we want the name to be. But we feel good about this. I just want to move forward And, we'll continue to talk about the things that we talk about. We'll continue to encourage people. Yes, we need to do mutual aid. Yes, we need to do direct action. That is not going to change. But it's time for a new leaf, I think, because I just want to make sure that we want to be remembered for the work that we've done, not because we had Fred Hampton's name, if that makes sense. So we're going to do what we continue to do, but we will be changing our name. But we're still the same people, guys. I'm still Sabby. Huey Newton leftist. Oh man. Oh man. Sabby Sab lefty lefties. SSLL. Oh man, that's a trip. Let's go ahead and get into the news because tonight should be a fun show. I'm going to start off with probably one of the most hilarious stories in tonight's lineup. So we're going to talk about Jink Uyghur versus Joe Rogan. So I don't really know why. I'm laughing at the pictures. I'm sorry. I make my own thumbnails, but when I see them on this screen, when I'm live, it makes me laugh because I'm like, oh my God, this looks ridiculous. But look, I don't know why these two keep going back and forth, but there's obviously tension there. But something did happen recently between the two. And so I am going to talk about that tonight. I think it's hilarious. We're going to talk about Build Back Better tax cut fail. What are they not telling you about the tax cut that is in the BBB Act? That is important. And you're not going to be happy about it when you hear it. And finally, we have some good news. John Deere workers win. And I'm going to tell you exactly what they won. So I'm really happy for them. I told you guys, the people have to rise up. We have to continue to do that. So let's go ahead and get into the Jink Uyghur Joe Rogan story. Because I don't know if you guys, all of you were on Twitter. I don't know if you even follow Jink. I don't follow Jink, but I still end up seeing his tweets because one or two people that I follow him. And so a lot of times I see his tweets and I just laugh my ass off because I'm like, what is he talking about? So Jink tweeted, apparently Joe Rogan called me silly in an interview. Hilarious. Hey, meathead, you're best friends with a certifiable lunatic named Alex Jones. Hard to have any credibility on intelligence after that. And how is the deworming medicine going for you? Genius. So, like, again, why would you put this on Twitter? Like, I just like he tagged Joe Rogan in it too. I'm just like, I don't, this is ridiculous. It's too much. It's too much. And he's done this a couple of times. It's just really weird. So that's one of the tweets. There's another one, also from Jink, of course. I don't even know if Joe Rogan is on Twitter like that, to be honest with you. Like if he's one of those people that post a lot, but Jink does post a lot. So here's the other one. And so he brings Bill Maher into this one. All the fake tough guys of media like Bill Maher and Joe Rogan pretend that it's so brave to hit the least powerful people in the country, the trans community, Muslims, and now expanded to almost all minorities. That takes no courage at all. Try punching up like you used to, cowards. So I just couple of things here. You know what's funny about this though? In this tweet, he's talking about that they hit on the least powerful people in the country, trans community, Muslims. Let me tell you a little story about something that Jink did back in the day. Some of you may remember, some of you may not. But I remember when Jink said that the Armenian genocide wasn't real. Like he said that wasn't a real thing. And Anna Kasparian was still working with him at the time, and she's Armenian. And like, I was like, really? This guy really believes that the Armenian genocide isn't real? How is that even like possible? Like, what? Like, it wasn't until like later he came back and said, oh, my bad, it was real. Like, we needed his approval. It's called history. Like, you just couldn't open up a book. I don't get it. So that's one thing. Another thing that Jink did, and this goes back to TYT years ago, but I remember he laughed at a guy who had blackface. He played a video with a guy wearing blackface, and he was laughing about it. I also remember Jink used the M word. So, how are you going to talk about Joe Rogan and Bill Maher punching down on minorities when you did the same thing? And I don't know if Joe Rogan and Bill Maher are punching down on minorities or not. I don't watch Bill Maher. I haven't watched Bill Maher in years because his views have really changed. He used to be a little bit more like, I don't know. He used to be more progressive, and then I feel like over the past couple of years he's become more of like a shit lip. Like I don't know why, but anyway. And in reference to Joe Rogan, the only time I watch Joe Rogan is when it's someone on there that I want to see. And a lot of times I don't make it through the whole interview because they're really long. You know, just being honest. But yeah, you're right, Jay. Bill Maher did say the N-word too. Yep. Oh, and he was ratioed for that one. He was ratioed not just by like his audience, but also by the press. I remember that. Yeah. So anyway, it's just funny to me because I'm like, Jink, you like, how you really going to talk? So some of you may be wondering what exactly, let me get this thing out of the way. What exactly did Joe Rogan say? So let me share my screen because I don't know if you guys know this, but recently Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, they were on Tim Pool's podcast. And I was like, oh boy, these three together. This should be interesting. I didn't get to see the whole thing, like a lot of things in my life. I only saw part of it. But I have this article here that's going to show you what Jink is referring to. And I'm going to be honest with you, I actually think this is kind of funny. So Cenk Uygur, creator and host of the liberal program The Young Turks, has attacked Joe Rogan after he called him silly in an appearance on a right-wing podcast. In a series of tweets, Uygur reacted to Rogan's appearance on YouTuber Tim Pool's Timcast IRL podcast on Tuesday night, which also featured conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. And you guys remember how Alex Jones used to be. But Uygur described Rogan as a meathead and mocked him for using ivermectin to treat the 1-9 in the tweet sent on Wednesday. And so I already told you that tweet. This is what Joe Rogan said on the podcast. After a while, you watch that guy Uygur talk, and it is obvious he's a silly person. These are silly people. There are so many silly people. You don't have to take into consideration their statements on every single thing that happens with every person. You realize they're silly. You know they're silly. That's why you bring them up. Ignore them. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. He goes on and he said, he's telling young guys that being uneducated, being against scientists and doctors, and being cruel is being tough. So in another tweet, Jink wrote this in reference to Joe Rogan. For right-wingers, I get why you fanboy over Joe Rogan. I feel like you fanboy over Joe Rogan a little bit, Jink. He now supports all of your wacky ideas. For everyone else, he was just on a podcast with Tim Pool and Alex Jones where they talked about how poor Kyle Rittenhouse was the victim. Wake up. The guy is a normal right-wing asshat now. Oh my God. Uyghur said he wouldn't accept a $1,000 donation of his to his network or charity of choice to take. Oh, sorry. He would accept a $1,000 donation to his network or charity of choice to take Rogan on in a fight. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but about a month ago, Jink Uyghur went on Twitter and said that he would fight Joe Rogan. And so I remember thinking to myself, like, why would you do that? Joe Rogan is a professional fighter. I don't know if he still fights, but he was a professional fighter. I think he would kick your ass. I don't know, guys. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I think he would destroy him. I don't understand why he's even trying to do this. He went on to say, easiest $1,000 I ever made. You think he's going to assault me? Sure, whatever. That's incredibly dumb, but also wouldn't work. I'm much larger than Joe, and I fought my whole life. I'd end him. This sounds like something I would hear guys say when I was in high school. But grown-ups don't do that. I'll send you the P.O. box and send the check. I'll send you the P.O. box to send the check to later. Rogan has been contacted for comment. Yeah. It What's that, Danny? Danny said you're 100% right, Sabby. Rogan would win early in the first round. I don't know. I don't know if like Jink is doing this for attention. It's just, why are you going after him? Like, you guys aren't even in the same kind of space. Like, TYT is a network. Jink's a part of that network. Joe Rogan's podcast is its own thing. Like, it's not, it's just different, right? And TYT is mainly known for like political content, political commentary. And Joe Rogan, he'll talk about politics every now and then if you had that kind of guest that comes on, but he talks to everybody. He talks about all kinds of issues like on that show. So I don't understand where this mentality is coming from. I don't know if there's a jealousy. I don't know what it is, but why would you challenge to fight Joe Rogan? I don't. Venom said that Jink is having a midlife crisis. Maybe that could be the case. I don't. Septian said, so Jink will get his brain turned into oatmeal by a guy who really knows how to fight. Have you seen Joe Rogan train? This is the dumbest thing ever. Like, that would be like me saying like, okay, I'm going to challenge, like one of the women from like WWE. I challenge you to a fight. Hell no. Plus I'm short. I don't know. Ashira said Jink would win because he's much larger and fought lots of times in his youth. I don't know, Ashira. Like, Joe Rogan is like, he's like trained to like really end you. Like, if you think about it, like, Aya said, I want Joe to keep ignoring him. Oh my God. It's just really strange. It's really strange. I don't understand this logic at all. But yes, they're at it again. They're going back and forth. It is very clear to me that Jink bothers a lot of people. This is some of the things he says, not even like the political stance that he has like on TYT, but some of the things that he says on Twitter. That's really a trigger for people, I've noticed. Like on Twitter, it's like he just wants to challenge people and call people names. And I'm like, dude, aren't you on like this network that's like, why do you need to do this? Why do you need to do it? Kyle said, oh, I'm joking, Sabby. Okay. All right, Ashira. Kyle Haggerty said, classic male insecurity. I could see that. Like, it's just, oh my God. I think sometimes people have, how people had like Trump derangement syndrome? I feel like sometimes people have Joe Rogan derangement syndrome. It's just like Joe Rogan's like on his own, doing his own thing, not thinking about most of these people probably. And they are always coming after him. If it's not Jink, it's CNN, it's MSNBC, because we saw how CNN like smeared him. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Eric Thomas said that Jink is desperate. I can see that as well. God, it reminds me of high school. I will end you. I will end you. Oh, I didn't get a chance to tell you guys what I'm drinking tonight. This is Mayflower Porter. See if I can hold it in the camera right. Yeah, Mayflower Porter. If you're new on Fridays, my Friday streams are a little bit more laid back. I bring in a beer because it's been a long week and it's Friday, and I'm like, hells yeah. So definitely, if you like porters, definitely check this one out if it's in your area. Pittsburgh dude, I know Joe Rogan studies MMA and judo, but maybe Jink has experience with Turkish oil wrestling. What? I don't know. I don't know what that is. What is that? I'll have to look into that. Oh my God. JP Magana said the synthetic left definitely have Joe Rogan derangement syndrome. Yeah, it's really weird. It's weird. They act like he's this political commentator. He doesn't claim to be one, but they are like obsessed. It's just strange to me. I don't get it. I'm going to go into our second story, which is the Build Back Better Act. So, as you guys may have seen, the House did pass the BBBA today. Now it has to get through the Senate. And I told you guys again, this bill is trash. It is not going to get us what we need. We didn't really win anything. I saw Ilhan Omar on Twitter, a video of her dancing with like a mascot Capitol bill. She was just doing like this. And I was like, what are you dancing about? So I wasn't too happy about that. And there is something that they have done with this bill that is really misleading people. And I want to point that out. And that is the tax cut. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Because when they said that they were going to add tax cuts in this bill, what they didn't really mention to people was who was really going to benefit from the tax cut. As you can guess and imagine, it is not us. I don't think it's anybody in this chat, any of us. So take a look at this. A recent analysis from the Tax Policy Center found the House legislation would deliver a tax cut for families earning between, hold your breath on this one, guys. I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger. All right, here we go. For families earning between $50,000 and $75,000 a year. That was echoed by another analysis last week. Wait a minute, I lost my space. Okay. A tax cut for families earning between $500,000 and $1 million. $500,000 and $1 million. This is roughly 9 times higher, 9 times larger than for those earning between $50,000 and $75,000. So the tax cut that they were bragging about for the BBBA benefits rich people, not middle class people, not low income people, not poor people. And I'm going to show you this chart. This is why I told you before, this bill is trash. Here's the chart, guys. Estimated average tax changes by BBB by income. Here we go. Incomes under 1 million. Check this out. So if you are right here where you're making $20,000 to $30,000 a year, your cut is going to be $960. Let's move a little bit further. This is where it's really going to suck. It's really going to hit you when we get to this part. If you make between $50,000 and $75,000, your tax cut is going to be $670. Now, I want you to pay close attention to something here. These numbers don't make sense to me. Now, I told you guys I'm not the best with math, but why is it people making between $30,000 and $40,000, their tax cut is $900. $40,000 to $50,000, $750. $50,000 to $75,000, $670. $75K to $100K, $660. $100K to $200K, $860. Wait for it. $200K to $500K, $1,560. $500,000 to $1 million, $6,140. That is who this benefits, you guys. Shout out to Tommy No Cash for the super chat. Solidarity from the UK. Jink's unappeal exists here too. What? You guys don't like Jink in the UK? I didn't know it spread like that. I didn't know it was contagious. Thanks so much for the super chat, Tommy. So, NG says, oh, look, tax cuts for the rich again. Big effing surprise. You see how they tried to sneak this in? And meanwhile, mainstream media, they're bragging about this, you guys. Let's go back up to the top. I want to show you something else. All right. The legislation will set up universal pre-K for American children, broaden Medicare to cover hearing benefits. That still sucks. See, I told you dental is not a part of this. Renew the expanded child tax credit for a year. Okay. And pour fresh funding into fighting the climate emergency, all financed with tax increases on the rich Americans and large companies. Now, you see what this says? Tax increases on the rich Americans and large companies. But at a last minute provision sets up some generous cuts for the wealthy. The plan designates $285 billion to raise the state and local tax deduction to $80,000 from its current level of $10,000, reversing a part of President Donald Trump's 2017 tax law called the SALT cap. In the single largest program within the House package, set to last through 2026. After that, there's no limit until 2031, when the $10,000 cap would be reimposed and allowed to expire. But put plainly, this law would allow Americans to write off up to $80,000 in state and local taxes from their federal taxes for years. Democrats swept into power promising new taxes on the rich, but they could blow campaign promises and hand them a hefty tax cut that dwarfs any for low-income Americans. It doesn't make any sense at all. Let me come out. Guys, this is horrible. I'm telling you, they really want to lose in 2024. All that talk about taxing the rich more, and they're the ones that they're giving more of a tax cut to. They're not doing anything different. What did I tell you? They're listening to people like Elon Musk. They're scared. They are afraid of these people. They are afraid of the corporations. They're afraid of the wealthy people because they own them. That is the thing. They become politicians. They go into DC. They are beholden to their donors, to corporations. They are not beholden to us. And once again, we watched several items cut from this bill, but they made sure that the wealthy got what they wanted to get. How in the hell can you do that during a pandemic when so many people are unemployed, when so many people are homeless right now? Guys, did you know we have tent communities in Boston now? And you know it gets cold here. They're kicking them out. I saw the news article the other day. They're kicking them out. They're like, nope, you got to go, got to go. It's spreading. It's spreading. And a lot of companies are saying that they can't get people to apply for these jobs, but they're not telling you why they can't get people to apply for those jobs. They can't get people to apply for those jobs because they don't want to pay them anything. They want to pay them less than the person who was in that position was making. They want to take away benefits from that position when their predecessor had those benefits. Oh, I know. I work in higher ed. I've seen it all year. I've seen it all year. They want to change the title on certain positions, give it a lower title so they can pay lower, but make them do the same job that the person before them did. Less pay, more work. And in some instances, they don't even want it to be full-time anymore. We're not going to make this a full-time job anymore. We're going to make this job a contract role. We're going to make it a temp role. And they wonder why people don't want these jobs. Can you blame us? You had those jobs. You have benefits. How the hell are you going to take them from everybody else? Going to some of the comments in the chat. CTN. That's right, Sabs. Richard Wolff tweeted about the labor shortage crisis in America. Yeah. See, I'm seeing like Fox News put out this narrative that Americans are lazy and they don't want to work. That people became lazy when they were getting unemployment. And then when unemployment benefits stopped, people didn't want to go back to work. Now, that may be true for some people, but that is not the majority. Because I know several people who have been looking for work. And every time they go interview, it's the same thing. They're paying people $15 for jobs that before the pandemic, they were paying $30 an hour for. Make that make sense. Who can live off of $15 an hour in Massachusetts? Tell me, let me know. I'm on the mic. I'm listening. Let me know how you make that work. They want to hurt and cut the American people. And then they want to complain that we don't want to take scraps. How dare we not want to work these jobs that overwork us and underpay us and don't want to give us any benefits? Who do we think we are? Sweet Drifter said working class and the disposable class, while elites are sucking out all the life from society. Bill Gates is buying up a lot of land. A lot of land, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone should pay attention to that. I call that suspect. Oh, Troy C says Sabby's a voice of sanity in such insane times. Oh, that's sweet, Troy. Oh, yeah. Keep your eye on Bill Gates, man. I'm telling you. So the Biden administration made this bill seem like it was more than it was. Even with the original bill, I still told people it was trash. They removed so many things from it. Like, they really expect the American people, especially people who are already struggling, to look at that bill and say, yes, this is going to help my family. And if you don't have kids, what does that child tax credit mean to you? I didn't see anything in there about student loan debt. Even the healthcare portion is lame. Let's be real. They don't even want to give people dental. They just want people to have bad teeth. Your teeth can affect the rest of your entire body. But I'm not a dentist. What would I know? So Biden is continuing to fall. Check this out. So earlier today, I went back to look at my videos because I remembered I did a video recently about Biden's approval rating. According to YouTube, it was 10 days ago. In that video, I told you his approval rating was now at 38%. That was 10 days ago. Check this out. How low will Biden go? Hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen, because it gets worse. It gets worse. Boom, here we go. A new Quinnipiac University national poll has some very dire news for President Joe Biden. His job approval rating sits at a lousy 36%. I told you, I did that last video 10 days ago. He's already at 36 now. 36%. He is falling, ladies and gentlemen. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Yet we have some articles out here, some outlets out here putting out articles saying Biden's doing a great job. He's at 36%. That's not great. That's an F. You guys realize that's an F? Little Rock Elevators said soon it'll be lower than Kamala. It's getting to that moment. It's getting to that moment. She's not doing well at all either. This is terrible. They go on to say, there's no real debate that Biden is in a bad place with the American public. You don't say. The question that Democrats have to be asking themselves is whether it will get worse, and if so, how much worse? I don't even really need to ask that question. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So he is continuing to slide down. Now I want to share this tweet with you. Now this comes from Chuck. He called this out yesterday about the BBBA. This is what Chuck said. Democrats, including famous tax the rich dress wearer AOC, will be voting on the BBB today, which includes a massive tax cut for the wealthy. Even Chuck knew. This was before the House passed it. It is the second largest financial component of the entire bill. Tax the rich, my ass. You get him, Chuck. If you guys know who Chuck is, tell him I said, what's up? See what I mean? Chuck knew what was going on. Yet the media is just pretending like this isn't even an issue. Once again, they're still giving the wealthy people more. They don't need any fucking more. They're all set. Why are we continue to give them breaks? Why? Because the donorship. Got to be nice to the people who give you donations for your campaign. It's sad, but it's true. Even Nancy Pelosi. She's another one. So she had some things to say. And this is just laughable to me. I'm going to share my screen. She really thinks she's doing something here. And it's one of those things where I feel like when I was a Democrat, like I didn't see through this. I didn't see through Obama until it was too late. I didn't see through Bill Clinton, although I was young at that point, but still, I was heavily involved in politics. In high school, I was on the debate team. In college, I was part of College Democrats. But I didn't see through this stuff. And now as I'm older, I see through it more and more. And now I can just look at it and see how they are acting. This is all theater. So Nancy Pelosi said this. Listen to this. She said, BBB is fully paid for. I'm going to play the video. Listen to what she says. Because to me, again, I just feel like this is theater. And what she's going to try to do here, she is going to try to use the duopoly to cast blame. She's going to try to blame it on the right instead of pointing out the flaws that are a part of this act. And the reason why she is going to do that is because that's what works, and it has worked for so freaking long. But listen to her. This is ridiculous. I'm going to mute my mic so I don't get an echo.
Build Back Better is fully paid for. It reduces the deficit and grows the economy. Unlike, and perhaps I need to remind you, unlike the Republican tax scam, which was passed in the dark of night with the speed of light, with no hearings whatsoever, and it increased the deficit by more than $2 trillion, more than this whole bill does for the American people. Tax cut for the wealthiest, giving 83% of the benefits to the top 1%. Top 1%, and did nothing to help American people. Build Back Better is fully paid for. It reduces the deficit and grows the economy. Unlike, and perhaps I need to remind you, unlike the Republican tax scam, which was passed in the dark of night with the speed of light, with no hearings whatsoever, and it increased the deficit by more than $2 trillion, more than this whole bill does for the.
I just want to jump in here for a second. Notice how she puts the focus on the Republicans. They messed up. It's their fault. So we, the Democrats, are going to come in and fix it. I call BS. Okay. But this is what they do. Thanks so much for the super chat, JP. People said Trump won't last 4 years, but look at Biden. Almost 1 year since he's gotten into office, and he's failing even faster. Don't see him making it 4 years. Yep. Thanks so much for the super chat, JP. Thanks so much. So she's going to blame the Republicans because that's what they do in the duopoly. It's the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. That's what they do. They divide the American people, and the people fall for it every time. Now, she goes on to say, when the Republicans had their bill, it increased the deficit. This is not going to increase the deficit. Let me tell you why that is not really relevant here. Steve Grumbine came on the show and talked about MMT, modern monetary theory. According to MMT, the deficit doesn't really mean anything. They want you to think it means something. Do you think when I'm sitting at home and I'm watching TV, I'm thinking about, oh man, what are we going to do about this deficit? Hell no. I'm not thinking about no deficit. Most people are not. But she's saying this in such a way that makes the average American think, oh, this is a good thing because the one that the Democrats are proposing is actually going to lower the deficit. But when you talk to most people, when I talk to most people and I talk to them about the deficit, most of them don't even know what it really is. But they'll repeat these talking points because Nancy Pelosi said it. They'll repeat these talking points because CNN said it and because they're Democrat. But you ask most people, they don't even know what it means. Do you see what I mean? It's easy to sit back and fall for this. Thanks so much, Roger Meadows, for the super chat. Later, for federal government, get what you want at the state level. Ballot initiatives and push state government to do the same. Apply M domain to power, broadband, and transport infrastructure. Thanks so much for the super chat, Roger. Roger is 100% right. We really have to focus on ballot initiatives by the state. We've gotten things done that way here in Massachusetts. That's how we legalized marijuana here. For people who don't know, because we were not going to wait on the federal government. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm going to continue to play it, and I'm going to point out something else that she says that is also misleading.
The American people, tax cut for the wealthiest, giving 83% of the benefits to the top 1%.
Yeah, but you're still giving benefits to the wealthy. Because I just showed you in that Build Back Better Act, they're giving the wealthy people a larger tax cut. So she's talking about the Republicans doing this, but the Democrats are doing the same thing. They're just being more sneaky about it. You see what I'm saying? The Republicans stabbed you in the front. The Democrats going to stab you in the back. I'll let her go on.
Top 1% and did nothing to help American people.
Democrats ain't really did anything to help us either. Like, I'm sorry. I just can't. Look at this sign, you guys. Build Back Better Act. Good paying jobs. Okay. What are the jobs? Are these temp, contract, full-time, permanent positions? What kind of jobs are you giving us? What do you mean by good paying? See, this is why I could never be in politics, because I like to ask a lot of questions. And if I was in the House with Nancy Pelosi, my hand would raise like every time. What do you mean by good paying? What's good pay? Is that $20 an hour? $25 an hour? $30 an hour? No, you have to break this down and define it. I'm sorry, but this vague phrase of good paying jobs, define the jobs and tell me how much you're paying. Everyone should call that out. Second part, cut taxes. Again, notice it's a general term. They didn't tell you how much taxes they were going to cut and for whom. I just told you that today. They didn't tell you they were going to cut like 6,000 or a little over 6,000 for the wealthy. So again, I would raise my hand and say, how much taxes are you cutting and for what income group? The next thing on this sign, lower cost. Lower cost on what? Like, I'm sorry, guys. You got to know, I majored in broadcast journalism and English. And those of us that have like this English major background, we're so used to like writing papers, right? We're used to like doing a lot of research for these papers, and we're used to having to break things down and explain detail. So this little sign here to me doesn't really tell me much. And I wish the American people wouldn't have fallen for it either. Lower cost to what? How low is the cost? How low can you go? How low can you go? Can you go down low? How low can you go? The next line, wealthy and corporations pay fair share. Pay fair share what? How much are they going to be paying? I just told you, they're giving them the largest tax cut. Pay fair share what? They're going to pay their fair share of taxes? That's not what it looks like from the chart I just showed you. Oh, Nancy, you could not be in my classroom. Let me pop out. I don't know. People like me like to ask a lot of questions. And my parents taught me, like, you should always ask questions if you're not sure about something. And it's really easy to just look at that sign and think, oh, all of those things sound good, without going deeper into detail. Notori said, everybody clap your hands, cha-cha now. Aha, you know the song. Oh my gosh, yeah. That's a song that gets stuck in my head quite often. Every wedding I go to, I hear that song. Every wedding. J-Dog said, corporations just raise prices. Exactly like what? But Sam said, why isn't my job paying good? That's a good question, Sam. I don't know. Like, when is this supposed to happen? Oh, thanks so much. Thank you so much, Ronnie Graham. Thanks for the $10 tip on Rockfin. I think you, Sabby, and Fiorella Isabel could work together and change the world for better. Oh, thank you so much, Ronnie. Yeah, Fee's been on here. She's great. She's really sweet. You know what I'm saying? What? That's right, Sam. We should ask these questions. Captain Obvious said there's no dumb questions, only dumb answers. See, they would have kicked me out of Congress. They would have been, Sabrina, you got to go. You're asking too many questions. You're not playing the game. That's not how it works here. You got to play by the rules. Pittsburgh said they might as well just call it the Children Are the Future of America Act. I'm telling you, like, what? What? How could you not have anything in there about, like I said, they got, the free college that was gone, free community college, that was gone. 2021 in the United States of America, and we still can't do free college. It's 2 years, guys. We can't give that to people. Are you kidding me? But they're giving the Pentagon over $750 billion. Are we at war? Somebody tell me. Anybody? Did I miss something? Let me know. Let me know. That's their excuse as to why they can't give us things. They want people to continue to struggle, not have health care in this country. They don't care, because as long as people are sick, Big Pharma continues to get paid. As long as Big Pharma continues to get paid, politicians who have pharma donors continue to get paid. It's all connected. All connected. Valerie said, no 1% left behind. Oh, there you go. They're never left out. Never left out. Little Rock elevators. Well, Sabby, that's why that act is called the Build Back Worse Act for the American people, and the Build Back Better for the rich. Nancy sounds like a Republican. Oh. They're one and the same. They're one and the same. They're both corporate. They're both corporate parties. They're just separated on some social issues. That's really the separation, if you think about it. That's how they get us too, by the way. That's how they get us. Democrats will tell you, I'm pro-choice. We're pro-choice. So, you be with us. Republicans will tell you we're pro-life. So you be with us. Now there's this whole thing where they're trying to divide with critical race theory. And who knows, a couple years from now, it may be another issue. But it's just all distraction. All distraction. They just don't want us to see the truth. Hit that like button, guys. I forget to say that sometimes, so thanks so much for reminding me, Eric. That really does help with the algorithm, by the way. Wear Pilgrim, what's up? Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children learn. It's Whitney Houston. I believe the children are the future. They do. But that's why they're only lifting half of the kids out of poverty. The other half are just stuck over there. They kill me. They kill me with that. Just makes you think. Makes you think. So again, to see Ilhan Omar out there dancing, to see like them celebrating it as if this is a big win, it's not a big win. And let's be real here. If you don't have kids, some of these things aren't even going to apply to you. Aren't even going to apply to you. We need a debt strike in this country. That's what we need. Besides the general strike, we need a debt strike. And I think people with student loan debt, if those people got together with people that have medical debt, could you imagine what would happen? Oh, Biden would be really angry then. You think he's mad now? He'll be really angry. How dare they? Thanks so much, Black Feud, for the super chat. They can't improve workers' lives because they need fodder for the military and imperialism. 100%. 100%. That's where a lot of the money goes. Could you imagine that, though? A debt strike in this country. Joe Biden can eliminate student loan debt. Nancy Pelosi lied and said he couldn't. He can. Doesn't want to. Not going to, even though that would greatly stimulate the economy. He's not going to do that because you have student loan companies out here that also donate to politicians. Did you know that Sally Mae, also known as Navient, whatever you want to call them these days, they actually have a representative that sits on the Hill to make sure that they stay in place? And not just them, other student loan companies too. They charge a lot of interest. You end up paying back way more than you should. That's why he won't cancel student loan debt. They think by adding in good paying jobs, which whatever that means, don't know, boo, that will help stimulate the economy. You heard her say it on the video. This will help the economy. You can help the economy like that by canceling student loan debt. And then more millennials and Gen Z would buy homes, would get married, would start families. And I think they know that. But they have people they have to answer to. After everything that happened in 2008 with the housing crisis, I feel like it's the least they could do. Valerie said, oh, sorry, Roger Meadows. Oh, you were right, Eric. Roger Meadows, thanks so much for the super chat. Combined with high schoolers studying abroad for free. So this is another thing too. And I told this to a friend of mine. When her daughter is ready to apply for college, I recommend, if she wants to go to four-year university, to go overseas where it's free. Americans can go to college in Germany for free too, just like German kids can. Go check that out. Do not get yourself in the student loan debt, man. Just don't go down that road. Valerie said they sell your loans to more predatory course too. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But we need a debt strike. Everyone that has this debt, just get together. Doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. Everybody get together and be like, look, something has to change. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, which Kamala Harris, I don't even know if she's going to be in that position come 2024 because they trying to like push her out. Told people she wouldn't be a good vice president. Thanks so much for the super chat, Justin. RE debt strike. You should interview Michael Hudson, economist, former Wall Street accountant. I will check that out. I'm not familiar with them, but I'll do my research and check it out. Thanks so much, Justin. Bill said, every time I hear the term left unity or leftist solidarity, I just facepalm. We are so much further away from progress than we realize. Yeah, we are. We really are. Because we have to find a way to come together. We haven't even figured that out yet. We can't even come together on the left. You know, this is why we're not really having movements in this country. We got to come together with people and fight for the same issues. Even if they're people that they don't share the same political ideology as us. So if they want to do a debt strike, who cares? Get together with those people. You need more numbers. You need more people. It's one of those things. I mean, we have to get past just talking to people in our echo chamber because movements do not work that way in this country. Civil rights movement didn't work that way in this country. Martin Luther King Jr. was a reverend. Do you think everybody that was involved in the civil rights movement went to church, believed in God, were Christian? No. Everybody in the civil rights movement wasn't Black. There were white people in the civil rights movement too. You need to have a large number of people. I'm just going to be real with you. Can't just be like 100 people to create a movement in this country. Hell, Barack Obama. Barack Obama just told kids at the climate summit that if you want the government to do something when it comes to climate reform, you're going to have to put pressure on them. Now, he took that a step further and said, do it by voting. I disagree with that. I don't think that is going to make a difference. I think you have to hit the streets. I think that's how you have to do it. Let's be real. Voting didn't help with the civil rights movement. They hit the streets. But he still basically told you that nothing's going to be done without pressure. that nothing's going to be done. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? And I'm not saying praise Barack Obama. I have my issues with him still. And I wish he would go away. I'm tired of him popping up every time I turn around. I'm like, dude, will you just stay at Martha's Vineyard and leave us alone? Wear your mom jeans, stuff like that. But I do know that, who is that? What's that? Did I miss something? Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks, Jimmy and Steph. Thanks, both of you. Thanks for the super chat. Nice news show. Thanks so much. That's awesome. Yeah, man. I mean, just it's something to think about. So that's why I tell you guys, like, we have to be the ones to create that change. Even Barack Obama is slipping up now, letting you know. What does that tell you? Moving on to my final story, which is the John Deere workers win. Guys, we're ending this tonight on a good, positive note because we finally got a win. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
That John Deere.
Of course, the volume would come on immediately. So for those who don't know, the John Deere workers was on strike. It's been a while. I found out, I think it was the other day, that they have officially won. I want you to check out this video. This is heavily important. I was so excited when I heard this news today or the other day. And hopefully you'll be happy too. And this is what happens when we come together and we fight for the things that we want. Here we go.
Deere strike ending. More than 10,000 workers walked off the job over a month ago demanding better pay. Gio Benitez joins us with more on their new contract. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, Robin, good morning. Yeah, this is a massive win for those John Deere employees. They waited it out for a month till they got this third contract offer. Now those 10,000 workers will return to work. Let's take a look at that new contract right now. They're going to get 10% raises immediately, 20% over the lifetime of the contract, essentially doubling their raises, an $8,500 signing bonus, return of cost of living adjustments, dramatically improved pension plan options, and workers will be eligible for health insurance a lot sooner. Now, overnight, the union saying in a statement, our members' courageous willingness to strike in order to attain a better standard of living and a more secure retirement resulted in a groundbreaking contract and sets a new standard for workers, not only within the UAW, but throughout the country, Robin.
And many people were watching this, and it really sends a strong message about the economy here in America.
Oh, absolutely. Because remember, Robin, there is still a huge worker shortage across the country right now. That's what was happening with these John Deere employees. They were doing a lot more work during the pandemic. So a lot of experts believe that many companies, they're just going to have to increase raises in order to keep all of their employees.
All right, Gio, as always, thank you.
Now, I want to comment on a couple of things that were said here, especially that chart where it showed you what they actually got, because I want to talk about that. Thanks so much for the super chat, Alan. Sabby, you and Irami OC, I always say his last name wrong, OC Freepong, are the realest on the internet. Love from St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you so much. RJ and I interviewed him a couple months ago. I got to tell you, he's like one of the smartest guys I know. Like, he's so intelligent. It was such a pleasure talking to him. Like, I learned so much in that hour. Like, really. Yeah, he's awesome. Thank you so much, Alan. I appreciate that. Let me comment on a couple of things in this video because let me make it quiet. I want to go to this chart because there's something I want to point out, and I don't need to play the volume to do so. So 10% raise immediately. 10%, you guys. And just to give you an idea, a lot of us that work in higher ed in Boston, our raise is usually like 2%. That's standard, like 2% amongst higher ed here. It's not much. And then your health insurance premiums also increase every year. So you really don't get that much of a raise, if that makes sense. 10% is a good amount for a raise. Like 20% raise over life of contract, $8,500 signing bonus, return of cost of living adjustments, improved pension plan options. I don't get a pension plan. I think most people that are in my generation, we just don't get pensions. Like, I don't even know. When my dad would talk about these things, I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Because like most of us, we don't get that like anymore. And then eligible for health insurance sooner. I personally believe, again, that we should have Medicare for all for everybody in this country. But the way some employers do it now, you have to work for them for like 90 days before your health insurance will kick in. I think that's BS. You should get it on day one. But if we had Medicare for all for everybody, this wouldn't even be an issue. That's the thing. Eric Thomas said 401ks are a scam. Yeah, so like with my generation, most of us, we don't get these pensions. So what they'll do is they'll tell you need to have a 401k. And then they'll match it a certain percentage. They'll do that as well. But to be honest with you guys, there are some people that are millennials and Gen Z that are not doing 401ks because their salaries are so low and they just can't afford it. So I know people that just won't have any retirement funds like saved up. Just being honest. Hey, this is the reality of the world that I live in for my generation. Just keeping it real. But they went on strike. They fought. They got what they wanted. Looks like they may even got like more, right? But a 10% raise immediately, not 6 months, not next year, right away. Guys, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? See, this is happening all across the country. It's not just John Deere. Companies are starting to see, wait a minute, we may actually have to do something for our employees. Imagine that. Imagine that. Now, the guy said something at the end of the video and said they are going to make sure that they pay them more so that they retain employees. Because who would have thought that if you pay your employees more, they may want to stick around? I don't know. Who would have thought that? I don't know. Have you guys heard about this? Is this a new thing? Workers' control of production. What's going on? A Sabby member. Kellogg on strike too. The bosses are watching. Yes. So 2 union members from Kellogg were actually on the General Strike Summit on FHL. And one of the things that they were fighting for was healthcare. That they were changing the healthcare coverage. I didn't realize companies could just do that, but apparently so. But yes, take note. I found out this morning Kroger is actually on strike too now. There are some employees striking there. This is happening all across. Listen, I was at the mall the other weekend, and there are very few Chick-fil-A's in Massachusetts. I don't know if you guys are aware, but it's not as big here as it is like in North Carolina, South Carolina, and there's some reasons for that because of their views. And I was walking through the food court and there was a sign in front of the Chick-fil-A that said, we can't open until like 7 p.m. No employees. It's happening everywhere. And there's going to be more people going on strike. Everybody's rising up now because they realize, hey, these employees are getting something when they strike. Maybe we should look into that too. Now, that's the benefit of having a union. But what about those of us that don't belong to a union, right? Like I don't belong to a union. And I think that's probably that's done on purpose. So I have seen people leave their job and not even have another job lined up. They're just like, meh, I'll take my chances. Swear to you. People are fed up and people are tired. You have companies now that told their employees probably about 2 years ago, we would never let you work from home. Which to me didn't make any sense, because if your entire job is just you on your computer all day, why do you need to physically be there? When they brought us back to work, brought us back to campus in August, people were like, didn't you miss us? And I was like, trying to be nice. And I was thinking to myself, like, no, like I was totally fine working remotely at home. I did not miss them. And nothing against them, but like I had peace of mind. I wasn't interrupted constantly. I was able to throw in a load of laundry if I needed to. If I had an appointment, I didn't have to leave work so early to get to the appointment, to beat the traffic. I was able to start dinner right at 4:00. No, I did not miss it. I'm sorry, but no, boo. Eric just called it out. Sabby say no, boo. I'm good. LOL. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't miss it. No. So people are starting to appreciate that quality of life that they may have received during the pandemic when they were working from home. And then they realized just how much time they were spend at the office. Commuting's a big one here. I know people commute 2-3 hours away just to get into Boston. Isn't that crazy? So it really like runs a toll on people. And I think it's time that the workers stood up, and I'm glad that this is happening. And it's unfortunate that it took a pandemic for it to happen. But here we are. Noli D. Thanks so much for the super chat. 89.2% of workers in the US are non-union workers. Yeah. So those of us that don't belong to a union, what can we do? One of the things that we can do, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, we can do a boycott. Now, we talked about general strike. There were a lot of strategies thrown out. There were a lot of like labor organizers and union workers and other people that came on with ideas and suggestions as well. But I'll tell you guys, and I'll say it again, we really got to boycott Amazon, man. I know it's easier said than done. I know people are used to having that Prime subscription and getting something within 2 days. I get it. I understand. But right now, Jeff Bezos has multiple homes. Jeff Bezos doesn't even want to pay his workers the wage that they should get. Let's remember, they weren't even getting $15 an hour until Bernie went and stood with the unions and helped them fight for it. Because Jeff Bezos doesn't even want them to unionize. Why am I seeing Amazon employees on TikTok talking about how they have to pee in bottles because they don't get enough time for a break? And for people who will come with the counter argument and say, well, don't work for Amazon. Guys, in some of these towns in rural America, that is the only employer. That's the problem. So for me, if you physically cannot go out to the store, and this is where mutual aid comes in, some people may have to order things online because they may not be able to physically go to the store to get these items. I get that. This is where we need community. And this is where, when I talk about mutual aid, it's not just about donating money to mutual aid. That's nice, but you can physically do things for people in your community. My parents told me people used to do this when they were growing up. My parents told me when they were growing up, everybody in the neighborhood knew each other. And people watched over other people's children. So like, if my mom got in trouble before she even got home, if she got in trouble at school before she got home, my grandma would already know. Like, that's how the community used to be. So they used to do things for each other. They would babysit for free, carpool for free. And one of the things that you can do for people who cannot physically get out, tell them to give you a list of the items that they need, and you can do store runs for them. Call it DoorDash for free. Because DoorDash and Grubhub and some of those other driver apps, some of those drivers are telling me they're not getting what they need to get either. We could do things like that. That's how you can help. What's going on, Roger? Thanks for the super chat. Sorry, Sab. You don't really feel it until raise is 20% equals $320 extra per week. Wow. Don't worry if Chick-fil-A made it to New York, then you're next. Oh boy. Oh boy. They tried to come to Boston, and the mayor at the time, Mayor Menino, said he wouldn't let them come here because of their views there on gay people. So Mayor Menino shut that down. But thanks so much. I don't know why my phone just moved on its own. That's weird. There's a ghost in here. But thanks so much for the super chat, Roger. But yeah, that's something that you can do. Eric Thomas is 100% correct. Mutual aid can come in many shapes and sizes. And speaking of that, I do have a request that I saw earlier today. Now, this is someone who is doing phenomenal work. And I saw this earlier today, and I want to make sure if you can help, please help. Make sure I share my screen here. Many of you may have seen Unapologetic. He's been on my show. He's been on FHL. He's been on Franco's show. Actually, he's been on Franco's multiple times. That's how I actually found out about him. And this morning, I saw him post this, and I do want to share this because, again, this is about being in community and helping the people that are in this community. And sometimes that includes people that may be commentators. So Unapologetic said, I've put everything I have into keeping the show going despite being homeless. Beyond grateful for my audience who's helped me pay for hotel rooms to make content. My account's overdrafted. I literally can't keep doing this anymore. And he lists a GoFundMe link here. And he lists a PayPal link here. I'll put both of these in the chat. Guys, if you can help, please do so. Again, we're talking about building community here. And I think that, hope I did that correctly. I think I did. Eric, let me know if that link works, because we know my copy paste game is not that great sometimes. Copy link address. Here we go. Yeah, okay, that is the right one. And then the one for GoFundMe as well. Any little bit helps you guys, even if it's $5, $10, whatever you can do. I know that this is someone, again, I think my links are wrong. Eric, can you click on those links? Maybe I should have clicked on the link. Okay, here we go. I just want to make sure I have it just right. It works. Okay. Okay. Please help if you can, you guys. Like I said, Dontel does amazing work. He was doing his show way before I was. He deserves way more subscribers than he has. And he's really good on foreign policy. I am not to the level of Dontel when it comes to foreign policy. That's something I still need to work on. I would give myself a B. I would give Dontel an A+. So please help him if you can. Valerie had a good point as well, and help Nick and JB too. Nick's car was broken into the other day. I think I mentioned this the other night on my stream. Please help him if you can. That's at Socialist MMA on Twitter. And also with JB, you guys have seen JB on here multiple times. He's also on FHL. And, JB talks about how he has to go through dialysis. And because of that, he has to be on disability, meaning he can't work. And I can tell you that, my mom's on disability. Disability does not pay much at all. So please help if you can, you guys. Again, this is about being into community. Dontel is the real deal, solid, honest guy. And I would not put it up on here if I didn't know for sure. So definitely, thanks so much, you guys. Other than that, The message I have out to get out to you guys is like, we have to stay in community with each other. We have to help each other build and grow. And one of the ways that we will not be able to do that is if we continue to tear each other down. We can have disagreements. We may not always get along, but at the end of the day, we have to try to continue the fight. And we have to remember the people we should be fighting against is the 1%. It's the corporations. Let's not let them distract us from that at all. Because as long as we are fighting against each other, they're still winning. They're still winning. It's Friday night. I'm about to be out. It's almost 9:30. I am going to catch up on The Flash on Netflix because I still need to catch up on that. So I think I'm going to hit that next. Other than that, you guys, I don't stream on the weekend. I'll be back on Monday. Let's try to put some positive vibes and positive energy out on Twitter. I had to get off of Twitter for a bit today, except just to post my videos because there was a lot of negativity. And I'm not trying to tell you what to post, but I am saying let's try to send some good vibes out as well. Not just what pisses us off. just being real. It's easy to do that. It's easy to do that, to just talk about what pisses us off. I'm just saying. But let's try to do that. Hit that like button, guys. I'll be back on Monday. So you know how we do this. Have a good night. Keep up the fight.